Alright, you've all whined enough. We're back. Sorry, it's not $6,000, $9,000 house. Down in the basement, we're going to be taking care of this dirt floor. If you recall, there was once something here. It is now under here where it's kind of sunken in. A haunting reminder of what occurred down in this basement. So we've got that crude concrete floor over here. This room here, dimensions are about 9.5 wide and about 12.5 this way. Everything is unlevel in this house, so this floor is higher than this floor. This floor used to be this like rotten wooden floor being held up by termites. Then there was the concrete block there, and so what's going to happen is this floor will remain. This used to have a wood floor in it too. Everything was so screwed up in this house. So the concrete is kind of a little wonky in this room, but not too bad. Pretty rough in this room, but again, doable. So I'm just going to do my best amateur job in here, which includes bags of 80-pound QUIKCRETE. Probably be somewhere levelish down on this area, and then as it gets over here, it'll kind of ramp up and connect into some patchwork that I'm going to take care of. I've got some remesh that's 42 inches wide, so basically I'm going to be dividing this space into 3 sections. Not going to be doing a proper job, so don't get hung up on telling me everything I'm doing wrong, or go ahead and do it, I don't mind. But we're going to be just taking care of business, hammering down and getting some sort of a floor in here that is just a scooch better than the other floors that already exist. Then I'll be able to drop the air handler right down on it and get things tied in. And I'm probably just going to come back in here and respray these walls out white, and then maybe just paint the floors out, and that'll just kind of freshen everything up. It'll still be what it is, but it'll be a much cleaner looking environment and not like that and this. First thing we're going to do is knock out this transition. It sticks up about 6 inches from the floor on the other side. It's a total of 12 bags. I've got 2 tools, a wood float, and a finishing trowel. Just bought them, never used them. Could have just made this, but I'm in a hurry. So this is just going to kind of float things out, smooth it out the best I can. Then once it sets up, I'll come back and trowel it out with that. See how it goes. I think we've got probably just enough concrete, or a tad too much, or not enough. Alright, I don't know what I'm doing, but one thing you can do with concrete that I have done is it seems kind of stiff. You work it around, and then when you start patting it, like, you can see how that is stiff. You can see it's kind of mounded up a little bit, but you start doing this, and it'll sink some of the aggregate, the gravel, the sand, everything. It kind of drops that down just a little bit, and you start to work up that little cream on top. Which that's going to give me something to actually smooth out. Now, I'm not going to overdo that. I'm doing it just to kind of liquefy it a little bit, then I'm going to trowel it around. I'll use the finishing trowel to try to kind of work it out actually smooth. I don't want to drop the aggregate too much. I think what happens is the top ends up kind of soft and it kind of wears it out quick. So you want to keep that stuff up close to the top, then smooth it out. But that's a fool talking. I don't know what I'm doing. It's just based on the very tiny amount of this type of stuff I've done. It's good enough. Just brought it right up to the top of the 2x4, and then probably like the last 8 or 10 inches, it just kind of tapers down to that floor. So the 2x4 itself is flat, and the concrete's self-leveling to a degree. Looks pretty decent. If I had the whole floor just look like that, I'd be fine with it. But once this sets up, I'm not sure how long it's going to take. Probably 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes maybe. I'll start troweling it out. I'll do some quick Googling on the subject and then trowel it out, and then come back tomorrow, pull this 2x4 off, hopefully it comes off smooth, move it over, do it again. I have no idea how to use this right. I wish it was rounded on the ends. They had ones like that. I think it'd be easier to not gouge it. Like, to go like this is kind of hard. It wants to end up dragging this upper tip when I go like that. So I'm just kind of going straight back and forth and pushing and pulling. You know, I should have at least watched a video probably how to do it, but I didn't. Alright, I think I just worked it a lot more than I should have.
SimpliSafe offers easy-to-use, totally customizable home security. They've once again improved their system by releasing their wireless outdoor security camera. It features an ultra-wide 140 degrees field of view at 1080p HD resolution and 8x zoom. This clarity will help you see details like faces and license plates that could become critical evidence. SimpliSafe has included a built-in spotlight with color night vision and two-way audio so you can speak to and even scare off someone that's come onto your property. Setup takes just minutes. The camera mounts to a magnetic base that allows you to dial in to just the right angle. It has an easy-to-remove rechargeable battery which gives you the freedom to go anywhere on your property without the need for an outlet. In the past, when I heard a bump in the night, I had to go check what was going on. With the SimpliSafe app paired with the outdoor camera, I can see my entire front yard on the screen of my phone. And setting up the new camera was easy. The magnetic base was mounted to my porch and then the camera was connected to the SimpliSafe app via my Wi-Fi. Once set up, I opened the live view and got the camera's angle set up to show the best view of my front yard. From there, you can set up preferences such as notifications. I chose to receive notice of any motion. I can quickly open the live view on the app and see if it's just a cat or something that needs more attention. This camera, of course, is a solid addition to an already great security system. With sensors covering all my doors and windows and the other great offerings such as smoke, water, and motion detecting sensors, you are covered. And as always, the interactive monitoring service will call the police if alerted to anything. Take 20% off your SimpliSafe security system and your first month is free when you sign up for the interactive monitoring service. Visit simplisafe.com/homemade-home to learn more.
Welcome back. It's the next afternoon. First slab, second slab we did last night, and this is the patch job. My boots are completely wet and nasty, so I'm going to awkwardly wear Crocs doing this work today, and I've got a big rip in my pants. Bear with me on that. The goal for today is to box in a little form right here. That's going to be for the ramp that kind of gets this floor down to that level. But then under the air handler and across in front of that ramp, this will be level with this floor over here. So I'm going to get that boxed in, get the concrete mixed up and poured here. First thing I need to do is scoop out a little bit of this dirt. I expected to do more in this video, but this turned into quite the job. That is a 10-quart bucket, not quite a foot over the across the top of that for scale. So the room's dimensions are 9.5 feet tall by 12.5 to the top of the ramp, I believe. So, you know, whatever that square footage works out to, plus this patch is what I poured. I think it's went pretty good for what it is. This is not a critical floor. You know, everything else in the house is, the floors are not that rough, but they're just not super nice. It's not like a brand new concrete modern basement floor that you could just, I mean, it's just slick. You know, they're just so nice how nice slabs are poured. But I think for what it is, it's nice. First time ever doing this much concrete at once, or this large of a section on my own, I guess I could say. I've done stuff like this where I've had to kind of patch things, but never anything like this. I always encourage people to try things if they want to do it. Sometimes it's to where you know you can do things, and then other times it's to where you know you shouldn't do things. And it's good to kind of learn that on stuff like this. If I had somebody lined up that was coming and doing this in a concrete truck, it would have been worth it just to have them come in and do it. They could have just brought it right in the window. I would have just stood back and watched it and been impressed by how good and fast they work. But at the same time, it was kind of cool to do it in hindsight. While you're doing it, it's just rough. Moving 80-pound bags, you can pretend to be real strong in that 80-pound bag. You can toss it around. And I can toss around an 80-pound bag, a few times and it'd be no big deal. But after you're mixing bag after bag, keep in mind, you go to the store, you buy it. You put it on your cart. You roll it out to your car, you put it in the back of your truck, you bring it home, you take it out the back of the truck, then you pick it up again to put it in the mixer, and then you haul it all in a wheelbarrow and dump it. So it's heavy work the whole time. I don't want to make all this any harder on myself. The goal is to make money off the house, not to wear myself out renovating houses. And I think as far as an investment, that should be everybody's kind of goal, because it's more long-term thinking. I don't want to be doing this level of work forever. My goal is to make the income to where I don't have to do this type of thing. But I'm willing to do it while to build it all up to that. The floor turned out relatively flat. I actually think the low spot's kind of over here. What I would have really liked it to be is everything kind of sloped to this door, because once you're in this room, any water in here runs right out the back door. But it's not so much that it's going to like pool up heavy. And even when the air handler's here, it sits up on these feet, so it would never really get wet. And there's nothing critical in the bottom of the air handler. It's just sort of the empty box. So, this is the intake comes down, then it goes up, and then gets distributed back out through the registers. The outdoor unit is right there. So probably going to replace this just to get a new fresh unit in the house. So this little flat area creates a nice spot for it. I'm perfectly fine with it being right here in the room. Gives you access kind of all around it to be able to work on it if need be. Plenty of room to move back and forth through here. My mix ratio, before I forget that, 2 bags of concrete mixed at a time in my Harbor Freight mixer with 1 10-quart bucket of water. So I'd fill this up all the way, and by the time I got over to the machine, it was probably to that little lip right there at my thumb, just from spilling some stuff. And the first day it was almost a full bucket. Then the second day it looked like I needed a little bit less. I'm not sure if it was just humidity change or the bags had taken on some moisture or differences in the bags, but there was just a slight difference to day 2 and how much water I needed. I needed a little bit less. It was mixing up a little too wet. And then when I did the ramp, I mixed it up kind of stiff, so just less water. There are additives, I can't think what you call them, but where you can mix it up to where it looks way too dry. Like it looks like it's forming those little balls that just tumble around in the mixer. But then you add that liquid, and it just like disperses that water, and it's like you can mix up a really dry mix that flows a lot. And I learned about that with concrete countertops, and so pretty interesting, and that's a way to maintain that strength. So I think that's it. Next up, getting this done was a big deal. I need to do a lot of kind of wrapping things up in this house, and this was sort of the one big thing that needed to be done, whether it was me or someone else. I feel really good to get this out of the way. I made this to-do list of everything that I can think of to finish the house. This was my biggest thing that I had to do personally. It was going to be the most labor-intensive, take days to do. So it's knocked out now. A lot of the stuff now it's still quite a bit of stuff, but it's a lot of small stuff. So I'm, looking forward to getting that list kind of chiseled down. But this was holding up whatever I do with this. So now I can either get this reassembled or call in the AC guy and get him to come in and replace it. But the area is workable now. The other thing that I might do down here, it's kind of a big job, but I might replace this door. And by replacing the door, I would, cut up to the bottom plate on the sill plate on the wall, and make this taller, because when I step up on this little threshold, I'm hitting my head on it and stuff like that. And then also this door is really rigged up. It's just a little slide on the back, so you can't open it from the outside. Every time you come in this door, or go through this door, you have to go in through the front door and come down here and unlock it first, which no big deal while I'm working, but to make it more normal, I want somebody to be able to come in and out of it and have normal door locks on it. That's going to wrap things up for this video. Again, I thought I was going to do more in this video as far as do the floor and then a couple other sort of odds and ends. I kind of wanted to do that in each video. One big thing and then some small stuff. Because I think I don't know. I don't guess how long it's going to take me to do things anymore because it just seems so unpredictable. I used to be able to do stuff like that when I had a lot less going on, and I was mainly focusing on, stuff shifts. All my house stuff used to be the number one thing, and then I had lots of other things. Now all those lots of other things, it's different stuff now, but all that has turned into the priority, and then the house stuff is not the lowest on the list. It's still actually high on the list because it has a lot to do with income that pays for all the important stuff, but it's just harder to make time for it, which is probably more along the lines of what I think a lot of people are y'all's situations. And if you can tell, I'm very tired all the time now. If that doesn't clue you into what life event has slowed me down as far as this house goes and other things. Tired all the time. It's for quite a while now. But it's just the way it is. It will pass eventually to a degree. But what do I want to add? Check out the book, How I Find, I don't know, my book on buying cheap houses. I won't try to impress you talking about it right now. I've got some videos, I might link to them in the description that can talk about it more, or you can just check it out, read the reviews, see if it sounds like a good fit, but it's just on buying cheap houses like this, how I go about finding them, and a little bit about how I make the deals talking with people. And I think that's about it. I'm going to try to get you another video in 2 weeks or so. Who knows if it'll happen, but that's what I'm aiming for. Alright, I'm actually getting a call from a property manager right now, so let me see what this is all about. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Hello?